Hey guys, today in this video I'm going to be bringing you my Regenesis deck profile. So this is a new archetype that came out in Alliance Insight. Been playtesting with it a little bit and I think it's quite fun. It's very simplistic, the end board's not massive and it's a very easy deck to play, but it's still enjoyable, and I think that you could also splash this into quite a few other decks as well. I think that you could run this as a splashable engine, but this is just pure Regenesis as it stands. So I will get into it. So for the Regenesis lineup, we're running 3 Regenesis Archfiend, 3 Regenesis Sage, 2 Regenesis Warrior, 2 Regenesis Dragon, 1 copy of Lord, and then I'm also running 3 copies of Replicard Lad. So I'll just, because they're new, I'll give you a quick breakdown of what they do. So Regenesis Archfiend says that you can reveal a monster in your hand with 2500 attack or defense, and then special summon it. This doesn't start a chain, so it's an inherent special summon. And then when this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a Regenesis monster, a Regenesis card from deck to hand. So this is like your searcher, this is your starter, it's great. Regenesis Sage says that if there is a monster with 2500 attack or defense, original attack or defense on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. Again, doesn't start a chain, inherent summon. It's great because they can't like Dominus Impulse you, which is a very, very popular card and a very good card this format. So pretty much everybody will be on Dominus Impulse, but none of these trigger Dominus Impulse because they're all inherent summons. Sage, second effect is that you can send one other Regenesis card from your hand or face up on the field to the graveyard, and this is a quick effect. Then negate and destroy a card. So if your opponent activates a card during either turn, preferably you want it to be on their turn when you activate this, so whatever card you send floats back at the end. You can just quick effect chain this, send one from hand or field to grave, negate, and destroy it. So it's very good. This is your only negate in the deck. And then 2 Regenesis Warrior. I'm only on 2 of Warrior and Dragon because I just think that I needed the space in the main deck to run some other bits and bobs, and these 2 seemed like the most cuttable. I don't know, maybe I'd go up to 3 Warrior and 1 Dragon, to be honest, because like having a quick effect compulse really, really helpful. In actual fact, I've had more use out of a Warrior than I have of Sage. But basically what Warrior is it's the same effect as Sage, where you can inherent summon if there's a monster with 2500 original attack or defense on the field. And then quick effect, you can send it to the graveyard, it has to be itself. Sage sends someone else, but Warrior has to be itself. And then target one face-up monster? Yeah, target one face-up monster. No, not face-up, target one monster. So you can send face-down monsters as well. You target one face-down, you target one monster on your opponent's field, and then you bounce it back to hand or extra deck if it's from there. So it's just a compulsory evacuation device. It's very, very helpful. And then Regenesis Dragon, probably the least useful in my opinion, is again same thing, inherent summon if there's original attack or defense of 2500 on either field, and then quick effect, you send this card to the grave and then target one spell or trap that your opponent controls and you banish it, which is kind of alright in the Malice matchup, to be honest. I don't know, like you summon Dragon, they activate Malice and Underground, chain Dragon, banish Malice and Underground, they don't get the banish from Underground, and yeah, like, it's just another way to stop their starters. Like, obviously this deck isn't like the solution to Malice. 1 Regenesis Lord. Honestly, I think this guy is even plausibly cuttable or side deckable. I just think that he's a good big beat stick and he helps you get to the Regenesis trap card. But this is the only one that doesn't summon itself just because there's a 2500 on board. This one you have to banish one, you have to special summon it by banishing one face-up monster that you control with 2500 original attack and defense, so it has to be both 2500s. And then you special summon it, and then when it's special summoned, you can set one Regenesis spell or trap from deck. And then during the battle phase it gains 2500, so it's a 5k beat stick, and it deals piercing damage. So again, like, I think this one's definitely cuttable. It's just a big beat stick, and it helps you get to the trap. And then Replicard Lad is it's an honorary Regenesis monster. It came out in Alliance Insight with the Regenesis monsters, but it's not called a Regenesis. But it's got the 25-25 stat line, and its effect is basically geared towards working with the Regenesis monsters. So its effect says you can banish one other level 7 or higher monster from your hand, special summon it, then target one face-up monster you control, which you can target itself, special summon one monster from your deck with a different name that has 2 or more of the same level, attack, and or defense, but it cannot activate its effects this turn. So you can banish Lord from your hand, for instance, if you don't have any starters. So like, say you didn't open Regenesis Archfiend, and your opponent's board is empty, you opened a Sage, a Warrior, a Dragon, a Lord, and a Lad, or an LAD. This is an extra starter. You can just go Lad, banish Lord, summon Lad, and then like summon Sage, summon Warrior, summon Dragon, Lad, target itself, summon, I don't know, Archfiend, I guess, just to get it into rotation for like next turn, so that you can send it during your opponent's turn and then add it back, and then you've got follow-up. Replicard Lad, I think it's a very good card for Regenesis. It's probably one of the best cards for it, in my opinion. But that's it for the Regenesis monsters. For the Regenesis spells, we're on 3 copies of Regenesis. It's just a copy of Rota, basically. So you can either add a Regenesis monster from your deck to hand, or you can send it to the grave. Or if you control a Regenesis, monster, then you can add one monster with 2500 attack and defense. So if you control, I don't know, Archfiend, for instance, you could add Lad if you want. Then we're on 3 copies of Regenesis Code, which is a quick play special summon a Regenesis monster from your deck, but it's sent to the graveyard during your opponent's end phase. But that's fine, because even if it goes to the graveyard in your opponent's end phase, you can still instantly then use its effect and bring it back to hand. So you basically lose nothing by using Code. The only thing is that it locks you out of the extra deck for the turn that you activate it, which you don't really care about in Regenesis, to be honest. And then we've got 1 copy of Regenesis Birth, which is essentially a quick effect, it's a continuous trap card that you can either send one Regenesis monster from deck to grave, and then Book of Moon one of your opponent's monsters, or it's a soul charge, so you can send it from face-up field to the grave as cost, by the way. And then special summon as many Regenesis monsters from graveyard or banishment, but send them to the graveyard during the end phase, which again, you don't care about, because you can just instantly add them all back as well. So it's a very good card, but obviously it's a trap card, so I only play 1, and it's searched off of Lord. They all also have, Code and Regenesis also have graveyard effects to banish and special summon a Regenesis monster from grave, and banish and target one of the banished Regenesis monsters and special summon it, which is alright follow-up, but like, I don't know, I haven't used it loads, because I usually just have follow-up in my hand anyway. And then for the generic spells and traps, just on 3 pot of Extrav, because again, we don't really use our extra deck, so it's just a quick banish 6, draw 2, because who doesn't love Pot of Greed? And then 2 copies of Dragon's Mind. This also came out in Alliance Insight. And again, it's kind of an honorary Regenesis card, because when a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated while you control a monster with 2500 original attack or defense, negate the activation if you do destroy it. And it's a counter trap, so it's basically like running a Solemn Judgment or a Solemn Strike, and it just works. So happy days. And then, if this card is in your graveyard, you can pay 2500 life points and set it again, but banish it when it leaves the field, which, who doesn't love a Solemn Judgment or a Solemn Strike that just gives it back again, you know? It's great, and it also works with some of our hand traps, which we are getting onto now. We're on 1 copy of Bestial Magnuma, 3 copies of Baldrake. I am too much of a broke boy to afford Jerusalem, but if I could, then I'd also be running a copy of Jerusalem, or maybe take out a copy of Baldrake and add in a Jerusalem. Either way, you should be playing Jerusalem. And then, but this also has the 2500 attack and defense, but no, not defense, just the 2500 attack. But that's all you need for pretty much any of the Regenesis cards. So, happy days again. And then we're on 3 copies of Ash Blossom, 3 copies of Fuwalos. I've kind of just robbed these from my Memento deck, which, if you haven't checked out that deck profile, go and watch that. But, yeah. 3 copies of Droll, and 3 copies of Imper. Fua and Droll, probably the best hand traps of this format, and then Ash and Imper, kind of just extra generic interruptions that you can have. Ash is definitely worth it to stop your opponent's mulch armies on your turn, because you don't want to give them draws. And then, yeah, Imperm is just Imperm. We like Imperm. And that's it for the hand trap lineup, and that's it for the main deck. And the extra deck, drumroll please, consists of 1 Typhon, and then just blanks, because you don't care. You literally don't care. They could be anything. You could put an SP in there, you could put a Big Eye in there if you wanted, because half of the Regenesis monsters are level 7s, half of them are level 8s. You could also run a Dracosac, for instance. But essentially, you don't care, you just have an extra deck for your pot of Extrav. Also, you could run a pot of Prosperity. But yeah, Typhon's just there in case you get in a pinch, and it's just a quick slap down and you survive an extra turn, I guess. A lot of people are also on the Kashtira engine. I don't have a Kashtira engine, but I think it's definitely worth running at least 3 Kashtira Unicorn, maybe a Fenrir as well. But that's it for Regenesis, guys. We'll see how it goes for the rest of the format, because Regenesis is fairly new, but it's already had some good showings at YCS Providence. So that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!